Hey, what's up, guys? Welcome back to another episode of the Fantasy Fellow Show. I'm your host, the fellow KGB, and we are joined by Drake and John tonight for our Tuesday night hangout. We'll probably go about 45 minutes tonight. We're going to try to make sure we get to the end of the Gonzaga. And who's Gonzaga playing again? USC?
Yes, sir.
Yes, it's not
Mr. Mobley.
But we'll get there in a little bit. But Drake,
it's 17-4 right now.
17-4. So maybe we can go a little bit longer. We'll see. But Drake, man, how's it going?
It's going great. Just happy to be here. We got some nice weather. Basketball's in the air. It's a great time. We just had the trade deadline. How crazy was last week?
It was probably
was blown up.
Trade deadlines that I can remember. At least I wish the NFL would be a little bit more loose and wild like that. But we'll talk about the trades in a little bit. John, how's it going, man? Good to see you.
Good to see you guys too. Yeah, it's basketball season. It's spring. It's the best time of year, guys.
And we'll try to get to. I'm excited about the college games tonight. There's not too much action in the NBA tonight. I'm just pulling it up right. We got the Hornets and the Wizards, Philadelphia, Denver. That one's decent. Orlando Clippers and the Hawks, Phoenix are the late caps tonight. But we should probably just kind of review some of these trades and everything that happened last week. I'm just going by the transaction log here, and we'll scroll down. I guess we should start with Andre Drummond. I don't know if either of you guys have a strong thought on this, but Andre Drummond to the Lakers, I think he's making his debut tomorrow night. What are your thoughts on that?
That's gonna be a fun playoff piece that they can use to give AD rest, but not only for rest, they can play them all together. LeBron, AD, and Andre Drummond down there. I think this kind of solidifies if you're an AD owner. I don't know if he's coming back during this fantasy season. Maybe Drummond's there to kind of fill out that role until playoff time. So,
or perhaps we see AD on kind of like a minutes restriction. Might as well just Drummond while he at a certain point, and then just elevate it from there. But John, what do we do with the Lakers right now? If you have Drummond, is it interesting to try to sell Drummond off this high news here?
If you've held Drummond this long, I think you try to hold unless someone's like excited to give you something because he just went to LA. And there are a lot of Lakers fans out there, so that could actually be something that happens. But I think Drummond is a guy you want to hold. I think Drake said it really nicely. Anthony Davis is out right now. Drummond immediately gets all the majority of their like useful number one big guy minutes. And then also Anthony Davis and Andre Drummond can play on the court at the same time. And it's 100% because Anthony Davis is one of the most versatile players, big men, like the league has ever seen. So I love the fit. I think it's great. If all three of those guys are back, Drummond is obviously going to suffer a little bit fantasy-wise, but who knows how healthy LeBron and or Davis will be the remainder of the year.
What does this do for Montrezl Harrell?
Right now, maybe not that much because I think they're going to play Harrell and Drummond together a lot. But who knows? But when the two stars come back, yeah, Harrell's gone. I mean, the Harrell, Gasol, all their big guy minutes that were being used very well and very efficiently, they're gonna go way down. I think Drummond's gonna get a lot of minutes. I think Gasol could theoretically still start the games, start the halves, but I think Harrell is gonna get hurt bad by this.
I mean, I think Gasol's the odd man out. If anything, Drummond becomes starter and Harrell just kind of gets those second team minutes, which actually could be good for his fantasy value if he's not, competing with starter guys. But interesting. I don't know. It's still weird because we got to wait for LeBron and AD to get back. But for now, I think you got to ride Drummond until at least till those guys get back. I'm excited to see what they look like. I think
it's pretty crazy come playoff time what they're going to be able to do to teams like the Nuggets. Mm-hmm. You're going to be able to throw Gasol in there for 3 minutes, just to give these guys rest. You can match Drummond up there. It's
lots of great defenders to throw at Jokic. Yes,
playoff guys too. We don't know that about Drummond, so maybe he, but I think
Davis as well.
Harrell's not gonna. His stock's gonna fall. I think Kyle Kuzma's safe.
Kuzma's always
he's the young gun. He's gonna play.
Drummond is riding the cruise. It's not the other way around. I mean, Drummond is just trying to fit in, I think.
So it does say Drummond. He will play tomorrow night against Milwaukee. So if I'll probably take a peek at
That's
that.
what I was thinking about. They're gonna like a Bucks Lakers finals, and they can just kind of build this huge wall, like the Raptors did on Giannis.
That's
Wild.
that's like 2 walls.
Yeah.
I don't want any part of that. But that one was kind of the big news. It wasn't the trade news, but the fact that the Lakers just get richer, that's pretty good for them. I don't know about this Marquise Chris being traded to the Spurs. Does that do anything for us? Let's keep moving to the next page to get to some of the bigger trades. Kelly Olynyk, did you guys? This is the part of the Oladipo deal. So Oladipo heads to Miami. Kelly Olynyk, Avery Bradley gets sent to Houston.
Dang.
We haven't really been like fans of Oladipo's game on this show, but I think it's a good spot for him in Miami. But I'm actually more excited about Kelly Olynyk on a team that just has kind of nothing going on right now, and they need minutes and they need production. So Kelly Olynyk could be a guy that's worth monitoring in Houston. But I don't know, John or Drake, do you guys have any thoughts on the Victor Oladipo deal?
Yeah, it's an interesting piece to Miami. I don't like we've said, we're not Oladipo fans. I'm not sure what it does for Miami, but I trust in Pat Riley to make that decision. So I mean, you didn't give up much, so why not, bring on another talent to try to push this team back to another finals,
Yeah, I think it's a good playoff
I think
piece.
the Trevor Ariza was a nice move. That was probably my favorite move by them. Like John was just going to hit on playoff piece. So.
No, but Ariza's the same way.
Right.
How many playoff runs have we watched Ariza just go off like 10 years ago, 5 years ago? He's the ultimate playoff chess piece. And of course Pat Riley is going to go grab that guy.
Right.
That's such a
he has
Pat
him
Riley
and
move.
Iggy on the same team. Those are the same long arm dudes.
Absolutely.
Did they sign LaMarcus Aldridge yet, or what's up with that?
No, he signed with the Nets.
The Nets.
He's with the Nets.
Yeah, my bad. I thought I saw.
Remember, I picked him up.
Okay, yes. Side note,
pick up a guy. I just instant click. Whatever.
Can I ask a serious question, a fantasy question? Drake, you are the owner of both LaMarcus Aldridge and Blake Griffin, correct?
Yes, sir.
Wow, Drake is, and he has Kyrie. He's kind of like our own kind of in league Nets.
Yeah,
Drake,
I'm
you're giving me some Steve Nash vibes right now.
And James Harden. If anyone,
you're giving me some Steve Nash vibes right now.
I'm Steve Nashing for sure. You know my love for Steve. If it's good enough for Nash, it's good enough for me, man.
Love it.
Send me KD and Harden, whoever's out there. I will take them.
I was just looking down the road here. You can actually pick up Chris Bosh and Dwayne Wade still.
Isn't that crazy?
That might be a legacy move.
Hey, those guys both actually retired, though.
If you get to the championship and that last day, you just pick up Dwayne Wade or Chris Bosh.
You're up by like 300, and you just add a legendary team.
Start them in the lineup. We'll see what happens.
Disrespect. I love it.
Do we think Miami got better with this Oladipo deal? Like a little bit?
I would think so. They added more talent.
I mean, they're sitting at the 8th seed right now, so I just don't know if that puts them at a lock as the 4 or the 5 for me. I think there's still a lot of competition here, but it does make them, I think, more competitive, and it makes that second team a little bit more deep. They got more to work with on the floor when the backups go in. So
I'm going to be very surprised if the New York Knicks and the Charlotte Hornets are in the playoffs. So, and they're sitting at 4 and 5 right there.
Just kind of a giant.
But look how many games behind. I mean, they're all literally on top of each other,
right?
Yeah, they're all on top of each other.
I think I want the Bulls to make a run.
The Bulls are making a run.
You guys, I mean,
I keep saying the Wizards are making a run. I keep saying the Wizards are making a run, and besides Westbrook being the greatest player of all time, they just don't do it.
Russ is so good.
He's my favorite, guys. I watched that masterful 35-21 assist game. That was something else.
Beautiful.
I thought the Daniel Tice to Chicago was a really good move for them. And they also added Vucevic, but to get Tice as the backup, Chicago is like building up some solid depth here all of a sudden.
And they didn't get rid of Markkanen.
No, I think they're a 5 or 6 seed right now in the East.
Yeah.
Looking at
I
some-
just-
They got
need a point
slapped.
guard. They need
I
a point
watched.
guard.
Yeah, I watched their most recent game, and they got slapped by the Warriors.
Well, yeah, he just lit it up. It was Curry. But what else? What about the Lou
Did you
Williams?
see Curry's comments about when they asked him about James Wiseman?
Mm-mm.
They asked what were you? Are you amazed at what he's able to do at that age, and what were you doing at that age? And Curry's like, I was looking for a frat party. He's like, around this time last year, we had just lost to Buffalo, and I was a freshman at Davidson looking for a frat party.
Oh my god!
We're gonna quick do this start bench cut.
Oh boy!
Made, and so he's got Pirtle the Turtle. Jaden McDaniels is an interesting player for Minnesota. And Nickeil Alexander-Walker, who's been getting some really good run with Lonzo Ball. But if I just filter by the last 7 days, let's look at this. They're all, roughly between 28 and 32 points. You got Pirtle the Turtle at roughly 33, McDaniels about 28, and Nickeil Alexander-Walker about 30. But I do believe Lonzo's been out with that hip, so he's putting up some really good numbers. Though you guys see, is this zoomed in enough?
There it is.
I mean, these are some solid numbers.
Can you see that, John?
Oh yeah, absolutely. I can always see.
So I don't know what happens when Lonzo Ball returns. I mean, he's probably going to be somewhere back in like 25, 23 minutes per game, but he was decent enough. You see some 29s and 18 to 28. Don't know the threes.
Are the Pelicans in the hunt? Are they in the playoff hunt?
Yes.
2 games, roughly 2 games out of the play-in. So
okay.
They're 100% in the hunt. I mean, the play-in gives a lot of extra opportunity.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Yeah, I like Alexander. I think I'm going to stick with Pirtle the Turtle here.
Yeah, I think we're all going to start Turtle.
Yeah.
I mean,
I would honestly start Turtle and cut both of the other guys and grab someone else. But yes, Pirtle I like.
So McDaniels, though, have you guys looked at McDaniels?
Right.
Especially the last 4 games. He caught my eye.
He's nice. Oh, you can bench him. Keep McDonald's.
I think I'm benching Nickeil Alexander, honestly. I think even when Lonzo comes back, he'll still have a role.
He's kind of he's shown that he can be productive with less minutes too.
Jaden's going to be hot and cold.
Right.
But
less
that's lawless country over there in Minnesota. Everyone's watching hockey now. Do you see our school, John? They're in the Frozen Four.
When are they not? They're pretty strong.
But this is the first time they've been in the Frozen Four.
Really?
Final Four. Yep, ever.
No way. They've had multiple good hockey squads.
Yeah, they've had good squads. They just haven't made it this far.
That's crazy. I have the internet at my fingertips, and I'm motivated to look this up because I feel you're wrong, Kyle. I have to look this up. I'm sorry.
That's okay. I just want to shout out the FELLOWSHOW's favorite Malik Beasley is back. He's got 2 games under his belt. That might make me let.
John, do you just want to see my phone screen? Can you see that?
I could put my. Let me see.
That says first Frozen 4.
All right, you're right. You're right. You're smart. You're a better fan. You're a better Maverick than I would ever claim to be.
That's sad on both of our accounts and mostly on theirs.
I think we decided we're gonna start Jakob Pirtle. We're gonna keep Alexander Walker, and we're gonna let McDaniels go.
Yes, sir. Sorry, we had some hockey talk in there.
That's okay.
John and I, we're just.
If your alma mater makes the Final Four, you get as much time as you need. So
that's impressive.
It doesn't matter if we've watched a game or not this whole year. I'm gonna watch the Frozen.
I was about to ask, when is this game on? Because
it's April 8th, sir. April 8th.
Oh,
I'm going to be in Las Vegas for it, so I'll have fun.
So far away.
So, what about Lou Williams here being sent to the Hawks? We've kind of talked a lot about the Hawks on the show this year, and it's just very fitting that he gets sent to Atlanta. Drake, what do we think about Lou Williams on the Hawks?
I mean, Atlanta. Is Lou Williams going to play more games or be out more games because he's at his establishment eating hot wings? I don't know. What is it? What is Atlanta? What does Atlanta gain by getting Lou Williams? Is this just like they're just gonna release him and he's just gonna score buckets on? Probably that's probably what's gonna happen, right? They're getting Lou buckets. They got rid of Rondo. They got a guy they can throw in when Trey's out, or even when Trey's in. That's a fun lineup. But
don't get me started on that.
I just need to see a committed Lou. I need to see Lou committed to playing on this Atlanta team.
Well, who starts for them? They got Young, Capella, Collins, and then is Herder still in the starting lineup? Who fills out that starting lineup?
Yeah, Cam's. I don't have any hope that Cam's back this season, guys. I dropped him today. It's been a long, long journey, but I dropped him.
Yeah, and he's still got that 4 to 6 week time recovery, and that was from March 15th. So he's still roughly out almost all of April. So I think we can safely let Cam Reddish go. So maybe that was just a replacement for Cam Reddish, just to get another good shooter there, someone that can. I mean, if
Lou's not going to be a free agent, is he? On most leagues, what's his own percentage?
Who is
Lou Williams?
Oh, he's surprisingly only 50% rostered.
Wow.
Yeah, that's surprising to me too. I guess he's not been like a superstar this year, but like he's definitely coming off the bench for them, right? Because that's the traditional Lou Williams role. He's literally won 3 6 Man of the Year awards, hasn't he?
Yep.
So I think he's definitely going to come
He's a Hall
off the
of
bench.
Fame player, right?
Absolutely. I would 100% agree with that statement, honestly. He's a walking bucket.
Mm-hmm.
He's a perfect fit for everything this Atlanta team wants to be, which is like a fast-paced, just shoot the hell out of the ball kind of squad, like a true 7 seconds or less type thing. And I think he's going to fit really nicely. I think his local, let's just call it his local spot, is really going to help him because it's nice to be home, right? You play well where you're comfortable. I think that's really going to help Lou. I think the lemon peppers wings are going to flow throughout that locker room, not just for Lou, but for the whole damn squad. And I think Lou is going to really thrive. I actually think he's going to have a great second half of this season. I think because the playoffs are exciting for him.
So I don't know how much value he's got in fantasy quite yet, just because I got to see some minutes and stuff. He's only 50% owned. He wasn't having a really good season with LA to begin with, but again, if he's feeling good and he's at home, we'll watch for him. But he's still he's one of those fringe bench guys in a 12-man league where if he's available, I'll probably add him to the end of my roster. But I think 10-man leagues is where it becomes questionable. But
Lou Williams can show up to a game at noon when he left the strip club at 6 a.m. and drop 30 on you in like 2 quarters of play.
Absolutely. I think they got him for the playoffs only. I mean, I know they're fighting for a playoff spot, but I think you get a guy like Lou Williams. That a Lou Williams get is like a win now kind of move. It's not they're
solidifying that they want to be a playoff team.
Getting that bench in really good shape, like having a great scoring.
I mean, look at their roster. That's a nice roster.
And that's kind of why I wonder about his fantasy value. I think it's a better real basketball move than fantasy because they're going to have a lot of guys,
It's going to be inconsistent. It's going to be inconsistent.
Yeah, inconsistent's a good word. But I don't know. It's Atlanta's fun, man. They're gonna be a good playoff team. Trying to look at any of the other trade news and reports here.
Trent Jr. We got to bring it up.
Rodney Hood for Norman Powell. What do we do with this?
Punt? I don't know.
Well, Kyle, you're our resident Norman Powell expert.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's really good for Portland to get a guy like Norman Powell. I think Gary Trent was kind of inconsistent. Rodney Hood was a decent veteran, but if you're the Trailblazers, you get the best player in the deal and you get extra scoring. So I really like it for the Trailblazers side, but for the Raptors, I like Gary Trent Jr. and I like Rodney Hood, but losing Norman Powell was one of their best scorers. So you're kind of replacing him with some inconsistent options. And we kind of just talked about the Raptors really needing a center for the most part. So it kind of bummed me that they probably should have moved Kyle Lowry instead.
What happened there? Why? Like the dude had his goodbye ceremony.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I don't understand it.
I thought he was going to end up a Sixer or a Clipper. I thought that was the.
But
I think he. What I heard was Ujiri just didn't receive any offers that he liked or appreciated. They were pretty disrespectful offers. But
it's a
despite
sitting
that,
starter, man.
despite that, you're spot on. Like they made it seem like he was almost guaranteed out the door. I don't know what the heck was going on in their camp.
Yeah, I don't know.
So it's interesting from the Raptors. I'm less excited about them making the playoffs now. I think for them to leapfrog Chicago, I don't know if I can see that and some of these other teams up here. So Toronto's kind of on the, I don't know, they're not exciting as the playoffs come near. But we did get a question in the chat room, and Aaron Keenan's asking, should we pick up Bogdanovich? I'm kind of murky on it just because there's so many bodies there in Atlanta now. But he had been kind of turning the corner. I don't know if you guys looked at his numbers. Some decent numbers. He could be one of, at the bottom of your bench kind of guy. But Drake, are you picking up a guy like Bogdan here?
I have looked at this guy many a time on the fantasy season, and I have not done it yet. So, no, I'm not going to. That's my answer.
Well said. John, any thoughts on Mr. Bogdan?
Yeah, not for like a 10 or 12 team league, no.
If there's if Atlanta has a back-to-back and I want to just fill a guy in for 2 nights, that would probably be my move. But I don't think the long-term play is there. It's more of just a 1 or 2 night game sample that I would be interested in. And then
absolutely, especially right now. Like Reddish just got hurt, Hunter's just coming back. They just acquired Lou Will. There's a more opportunity for Bogdan to play and do something right now. If he's going to do something, it might be now. So if you like the guy and you want to speculatively add him now and maybe ride him out for like the next 3 games to see what happens, I wouldn't be against that. But I just feel like there are better options out there in a 10-team league.
Yeah, just try to, if he's playing like Atlanta's playing a game where there's 3 games that day, and he's got a back-to-back or something, that's when I would look at him, and that's when I have looked at him. It's like, okay, Atlanta has 2 games in a row here. Does he help me do what I need to do?
Here you go. April 1st, which is Thursday, and Friday they got a back-to-back, and they also play on Sunday. So this could be you add. He's got 3 games in 4 days. Maybe you pick him up and you hope for maybe 60 points at least, 20 a game.
You'd be happy with 50 points.
Yeah, you'll take it.
Absolutely. That sounds fun.
Let's do it. And then one of the questions from Aiden was, when is my rookie of the year, Killian Hayes, coming back? I thought
love you, Aiden. I think I wouldn't be surprised if he doesn't play at all this season. He's close to like being healthy, but they're not going to rush it. So who knows? I wouldn't be shocked either way. He might play 5 games this year, like on the return from his injury. But can I call it out now, Aiden? Comeback Player of the Year, Killian Hayes, 2022. You heard it here first. Just tell all your friends.
And I'm looking. I thought I saw a news blurb on him. Drake, did we get a news blurb on the?
Yeah, it was. He's been practicing. He was cleared to practice. I kind of agree with John. I probably see Killian Hayes playing like the last 2 weeks of the season.
Sure,
something like that, where they're just gonna, all right, let's let the rook, take a couple of hits here, so it doesn't have to happen at the beginning of the season. Yeah, but nothing that's gonna help you in fantasy this year.
Yeah, we can hang up Killian Hayes for the rest of the fantasy season.
I would love to be wrong. I'd love.
Let me put it this way.
Next week.
Let me put it this way. The only reason Killian Hayes is on a fantasy roster at some point this year is because Kyle Bauer makes a fantasy championship, and like the last couple days of the championship, he's just like dropping Joel Embiid and picking up Killian Hayes because Killian Hayes plays 2 more games or something insane, and it's just incredible fantasy roster management. So he could win someone. John, could win someone a fantasy championship this year. I'll put it that way. In the right scenario with the right manager, he could win someone a ring this year.
You went too far on Killian Hayes. Okay, you had your rookie of the year thing. Now you're saying he's going to win someone a fantasy championship,
and he's going to win Comeback Player of the Year award 2022. I'm calling it like I see it. Killian Hayes is the truth. I'm not backing away from this just because he got hurt. I think he's a great player. I'm excited for next year.
He's very fun to play with in 2K. I'll give you that.
Isn't he your guys' rookie of the year pick at the beginning of the year?
Yes, he was both of ours.
So I
feel like I twisted your arm into it, Drake. I feel like you wanted to
I wasn't that high on Edwards, which I was foolishly not high on Edwards or Wiseman or Ball. So I was like, I need something to believe in, and John gave it to me.
I like Halliburton at the beginning of the year, but if we get Killian Hayes back at some point, we'll talk about him on the show and see what happens. But we'll keep.
We need to get him on the show.
Get him on. He's not doing anything right now, so
I'm buying all of the first Killian Hayes top shots. By the way, just so the internet's aware.
Us three are gonna raise that price by at least $4 by just mass buying.
So George,
we're here for your moments.
We got George Hill on the Sixers now. Does that do anything for
I like that. That's a total George Hill nice fit. Bucks fans don't like that.
No.
That makes me sad. You're spot on, Drake. It makes me sad. He's so good. He's just such a useful player.
He's such a good playoff. Just
He's the opposite of Lou Williams, besides the fact that he's awesome in the playoffs. I mean, he's an awesome asset in the playoffs. In theory, I think Lou probably hasn't been the best playoff guy, but these guys they fit the teams they join really nicely in positions of need where they can just fill it, a 10 to 20 minute role every night off the bench, and just in theory, it's set up for them to just kick butt because they're like the 7th, 8th options on their team.
For the Bucks, when George Hill was there, how many times did you think he was the second best player on the Bucks during the playoff runs?
It was
multiple, like many, right?
It was either it was a George Hill or a Middleton game, pretty much every other game.
Right.
So he carries a lot of weight on those strong shoulders. So that's
great
a really
3-point shooter. I mean, just he does everything well.
Is a really good move for Philly. What did they give up for that?
Peanuts.
Nothing. Oh, center, big guy, Tony Bradley.
Yeah, that's a nice pickup for OKC. I do want to talk Tony Bradley
a little bit because they've got a lot of interesting young talent, and SGA's out for a little bit with plantar fasciitis. I don't know if you guys knew that.
Moses Brown is going nuts right now.
Yeah, I'm glad we talked about that.
It earned him a contract. He signed a multi-year contract.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, he's awesome. Can we talk about Aaron Gordon? That's pretty fun, right?
That's huge.
Go ahead.
Nuggets.
You, Aaron Gordon to the Nuggets.
Yeah, I think it's a really good deal for both sides. And I think Gordon is a really interesting partner for Jokic. I mean, neither of them are elite defenders, so that could be a little problematic. It'd be nice to get more of like a little better defender in the power forward spot to help Jokic out, like what they did with Millsap. But outside of that, Gordon and Jokic are a fun pairing. They've played okay together already in one game, and I think they have a lot of room to grow. So Jokic is a good partner for anyone.
Anything to add with Aaron Gordon? I really like Denver. I think Denver's got a shot. They have a pathway to get to the Western Conference Finals, and Aaron Gordon could be the guy that helps put it over. What do you think, Drake?
I agree 100%. I love the move. You're going to, pair him with talented players of Murray, Jokic, Michael Porter Jr. They have depth at guard, so they were, didn't miss a whole lot. Getting rid of that. It's a nice move. I look at their starting five now. There's some big height there.
And what I like too is it gives Paul Millsap a breather.
Yeah.
We're
gonna get playoff Paul.
Yeah, we can get just on a minutes restriction here. He just gives us what he got for maybe 15 minutes.
I really want this team to stay healthy.
Mm-hmm.
It seems to be their Achilles heel every year.
Did they trade for JaVale McGee too?
They did get McGee.
Yeah, McGee's there. Yep.
Yeah, he's their backup center. So another.
Right there, yep.
It's so many meaningful minutes for the Lakers last year in the playoffs. So
I just like all the big guy reinforcements.
This is why I told you I thought this team was in that second tier, John. When you sent that, I think they're in that second tier.
Yeah, maybe we can share we can do the John and Drake weekly tiers, and we can share our high.
Do we think they maybe
rankings.
add another piece? Maybe they get a point guard or something. I don't know.
Maybe some kind of shooting guard backup. One or two position here.
I think they actually really like Campazzo and Morris at the point guard spots. Also, I watched a little bit of the Nuggets play, or a lot, and Marcus Howard from Marquette of all places got some minutes at the end of the game. They were blowing him out, but I was surprised he was on a roster.
He was
And it was
lighting
fun
up
to see
the
him.
G League, so I think it was forced on a team.
That's fair.
Yeah, Campazzo, you're right, they do like him. I picked him up once this year, and then like that day it was announced he was on the COVID list.
Of
He had
course.
a back-to-back game.
I think they could use a wing, whether it's a shooting guard or a forward. But
Scoring
like
wing.
they have such their roster reminds me of the Bucks roster of recent years, where it's all guards or big guys and no actual small forwards besides one player. And that works in the playoffs these days. And the Lakers getting Drummond, reinforcing your bigs right now out west is a smart decision for your playoff run and your championship status. So I like what the Nuggets did here.
Let's see. What about the Magic, man? The Magic literally took a sledgehammer to the whole damn thing. Sent
Beautiful.
Chicago, Evan Fournier to Boston. What do we think about Evan Fournier in Boston?
That's a good fit for Fournier. He's going to be a nice little role player, get his shots up. That's a team that's looking to do something. I mean, Danny Ainge made some pretty desperate moves at the deadline. Who else did they bring in?
Oh, someone from Washington. I can't remember. Was it Moritz Wagner?
Yeah.
And then also
Fournette they got as like part of one of those trades.
And then Fournier. So Fournier is probably going to be a pretty big bench player for them. And that's a good role for him. So possible fantasy pickup.
And then they moved Daniel Tice away, which to me, I was telling people Robert Williams is probably the most lucrative person you could get if he's still available on the waiver wire. Even I would trade for Robert Williams. The guy does not need a lot of minutes to get a lot of fantasy points, and Tristan Thompson's still out with COVID issues. So Robert Williams is probably my favorite. I guess I don't even know if he's a buy low, but
what is this Boston team?
They confuse me, man.
They are a 7 seed.
This is the best 7 seed I've ever seen in my life. I mean, this team looks really good, especially because Robert Williams is good. Like, the worst player on that starting lineup is Robert Williams, and he's balling out right now. Like, how are they losing games?
Gonzaga's up by 19.
It's a nail biter.
Is it still a couple of minutes left in that first half?
There's 12 seconds.
Okay. Let's let me see what else here. Otto Porter Jr. was acquired by the Magic. That one's interesting. The Magic also got Wendell Carter Jr., Otto Porter Jr. And what else? It's hard to remember because the list is just so damn long.
The Magic had a fire sale, man.
The Wendell, I love what the Magic did.
They got some great picks, I think.
Picks, pieces, and they're embracing what they are. They have so many good, like, young, talented guards. RJ Hampton, Cole Anthony. You have Fultz coming back. Where is Fultz on there? He's not even on there.
I think he's on the IR.
Oh, that's why. You have Jonathan Isaac. Like, this team is going to be – this is 2K.
Mm-hmm.
We talked about this last week, but Hampton just played 2K on the league, and it was beautiful. My GM mode. Yeah,
absolutely. I think I agree with that.
I like RJ Hampton a lot. I liked him coming out this year. I think that's a solid piece to get.
So how do we use Orlando Magic players for fantasy the rest of the way?
Like you used OKC and Houston.
Okay.
This is a land of talented players that are going to go off.
And it's like a carousel.
Until Moses Brown comes along and just plants his ass in one of the seats in the carousel and just rides it for the rest of the season.
That's sometimes how it goes. I mean, I could see Wendell Carter Jr. finally starting.
That is the 7-2 man. How is he getting on a carousel?
This is the NBA, baby. If we're talking carousel metaphors, we're talking big carousels. I would assume so.
It's a carousel outside the big and tall store.
Drake, it's the carousel they brought into the bubble.
Okay.
They had the little playground,
with hot
the big
wings.
playground for him, you know.
So I think that's pretty much all that. Did we miss any other big trade details that you guys wanted to talk about? I like Hamidou Diallo traded to the Pistons. I want to show you guys real quick because I actually just snagged him around 6 o'clock before we went live. But traded away from the Thunder, and the man goes out and puts up 42.5 fantasy points last night.
Pretty good.
Detroit. We've been talking about these OKC, the Detroit, the Orlando. We're talking about these teams. Just sometimes players get put into situations, and you just can't ignore the fantasy points, like a Kevin Porter Jr. Even with Houston. Sometimes these really bad teams, they just get thrown opportunity to people, and I'm interested in Hamidou Diallo, only 12% owned. So keep an eye on him. Detroit's got nothing really going for him. So I like that move for Detroit. Let's see here. Anything else here? Who is Rodion's Karooks, John?
He was just thrown into the deal. I've actually heard the Bucks might cut him, but we'll see. But yeah, he was just thrown. He was the add-in to the PJ Tucker deal from the Houston side.
Axel Toupane? Like, where are they getting these names? Where are they getting these?
Axel Toupane has been on like the Bucks G League for a long time, and he was there. He was on a 2-day contract for the Bucks like in 2017, 2018, or a 2-week contract, or a 10-day, right? It's a 10-day. He was on a 10-day contract with the Bucks in like 2017, 2018.
Well, it used to be a 2-week, so you were probably right.
That's crazy. I thought I said 2-day, but anyway.
Quinn Cook signed with the Cavs, guys.
Oh, sorry.
Quinn Cook is
who's
much
actually
better
probably
than
a good pickup for the Cavs is Lamar Stevens right now. He's an undrafted guy that's been getting a lot of minutes and going off. And I'm not gonna recommend any other Cavs because they are just trash. They're trash team. They're a trash organization. And
Quinn Cook is a guy I always think is going to be better than he is.
Yeah, I think this is like his 8th stint with the Cavs in the last 2 years. It's like, Quinn, what are you doing today? Like, yeah, I'll play.
You want to shoot hoops today?
Yeah.
Nah, good.
The league says we have to fill out our roster.
So you mentioned Lamar Stevens here?
Yeah.
Who is this guy?
He's been getting a lot of minutes. Well, 21. Yeah, that was his most. So
productive when he gets the opportunity, though. So we'll keep an eye on him, put him on the waiver or the watch list here. Now, Drake and I were talking about Isaiah Hartness here.
Yes, that's a guy you should be picking up because look at he's got 35 points. His Jared Allen has a concussion and they're not going to rush him back. So this guy's probably starting the rest of the week.
Mm-hmm.
He's 0.3% rostered. So
he's starting the rest of our natural born lives, boys.
He will never not start. Isaiah Hartenstein is taking the Cavs to the moon.
It's officially Hartenstein season, people.
I'm ready for it.
So I wanted to pull up Oklahoma City Thunder. Al Horford, man. What happened to Al Horford?
He decided he wanted to make a lot of money, not work, and then prepare himself to make a lot more money next year so he can work.
So
he left?
No. He's the Thunder are paying him to not play, and he said, "I'll hang out your workout facilities and be in Oklahoma and work out and be a part of the team, but I'm not gonna go to games. I'm not gonna play, and I'm gonna just prepare myself for next season."
That's fair.
And he's not gonna play with the Thunder next season.
Professional, this isn't his team, so
right.
Yeah, and Presti's winning games with or without him. Presti doesn't care. Presti has this entire thing on autopilot. He's incredible.
Yeah. So let's just give at least 2 minutes to Moses Brown here. I don't know who wants to go first, but this might be your league winner right here.
He is
league winners.
He's a 7-2 monster.
He's still only 50.5% owned, people.
Look at his just go scroll down. You're gonna cry.
I almost cried when I saw this. The man gets more rebounds than points, and he puts up 21 goddamn points. But these are like Christian Wood numbers. That's essentially what you're picking up.
It's 62.
You're picking up a Christian Wood type player.
It's He's impressive, and he earned himself a nice contract, as a rookie.
It's a multi-year deal. Do we know the numbers?
No, we don't know any of that.
Even Woj doesn't know.
Yeah. It's like, it's OKC. They got the money. It's what it is.
Sam was just like, we'll figure that rest of that out later. Just you want to hang around here and play with us?
Play basketball with Horford. Fuck, he's down there.
You just give him a company card for like the rest of the year and say, don't worry about it. We'll talk about this later.
He's going to include a horse. He's getting a racehorse out of this.
Okay, look at the names on this roster now with Moses Brown, Lugans Dort. I'm this guy is a guy I've owned a lot on my team. Alex Polkozivsky. I've never said his name the same way twice, but he's very good at basketball. Shfi, who everyone loves, great shooter, Shfi, and then obviously SJA, Shai Gilgeous-Alexander. Which team in the freaking NBA has more interesting names than this roster? It's
Their
fun.
Jersey guy hates them.
Oh, I bet he. Yeah. No. How many typos do you think they get? Like, this is insane.
Not the
I can't get all the letters on.
The announcer must, they must pay him handsomely.
Yeah, those guys get paid nice.
Go through language learning every 6 days with this roster.
Just download the new names here. But SGA, he's got plantar fasciitis. I'd have to look up and see how long that takes. I'm expecting him to be maybe done for the year, maybe not back till the last week or so. So it's a bummer. SGA what's here? If we just look up plantar fasciitis,
the thing is that he's just not going to get rushed back. We know what SGA is. SGA is an all-star in the making.
Presti told all of his stars to go away, or they got hurt, and he's still gonna field a 500 ball.
He's like, if you didn't get hurt, you're hurt now. So get out of the building.
Not great. Plantar fasciitis usually resolves within 6 to 18 months without treatment. I'm sure he's getting treatment. So,
he's not coming back this year.
Kyle, he's an NBA athlete with access to NBA resources. He's going to 6 months is the low timeline for like a normal human being like Drake. Shai Gilgeous-Alexander is going to do this in like 3 weeks.
Well, at that point, what's the point? Why should he come back and play?
John,
no, they're going to take.
I got plantar fasciitis today. I would still play in our 2-on-2 tournament. So just don't call me out in this group. I'm 4 weeks. I'm 4 weeks with the plantar.
Okay, 4 weeks.
Play 2-on-2 basketball and quarter court.
You know what? I bet you're still the third best player in the building. Plantar fasciitis or not, I bet you're still the third most dangerous person out there.
So if you don't have an IR spot in your league, do you dump SGA?
No.
You hold?
Oh, if you don't have an IR, I'm probably dumping him.
I'm probably dumping, unless you get a bye week or something in the playoffs.
He's not coming back probably this year. Why would you?
So, have you guys looked into Theo Maledon's numbers?
I have. He's been on my watch list.
I don't know.
He's a spicy meatball.
I don't know. He doesn't get assists. He doesn't. He
got 41 points without him though.
He did. But it's been inconsistent. He still hasn't gotten the scoring to the top notch here. But the minutes are starting to look good. Yeah, he's filling out the rebounds, which I like. If he can keep the rebounding up, 4 to 6 a game is a pretty nice number. But he's developing a safe floor here. If you just look at the numbers here on the right,
absolutely.
As long as he's over 20, I think this is a really interesting ad. Only 8%. Again, no SGA, no Al Horford. We got to be picking up OKC players. Moses Brown. This is the last call. Moses Brown, come get him while you can. If you're in a 10 or 12 man league,
don't have Moses.
But Isaiah Roby, what do we do with our top shot hero here? He's only 8.6% owned, and he's
very inconsistent. I've been on the Roby all year.
But the one thing that is consistent is he might not score, but he's going to fill out something.
Yeah.
So I think I can put up with a 14, 15-point floor as long as he gets me a 30 or a 43 every other night here.
Yeah, I owned him on this week down here where it was like 17, 17, 17. Yep. And I was like, yeah, I'm good.
So he's definitely someone to keep an eye on.
Absolutely. Always good.
What do you do with Tony Bradley? Is because he had a couple nice moments in filling in for Joel Embiid in Philly. And this is the guy that there's kind of no rules in OKC. They're going to try to give these guys minutes. So a guy like Tony Bradley, I'm going to add him to my watch list. And as soon as we see the minutes, I think that could be kind of fun.
Yeah, no, Bradley's a guy that I think if you're a Moses Brown stan, you might come to loathe Tony Bradley because he's been having a good year. He's especially when he's been given opportunities. And where else do lowly NBA players get opportunities than OKC?
Anybody else we can call out? I mean, I like Alexej. Kenrick Williams has been getting some decent minutes. Kind of like a solid benchman minutes.
He's good.
The floor is. I mean, look at this. Like it's almost like our guy. Where is his name? These are almost Isaiah Roby like numbers, but just with less minutes. So I'm kind of. If you need a guy, if they have a back-to-back, I'll take Kenrick Williams. I think I'm going to be picking on OKC a lot. If I see a back-to-back, I'll try to shoot for 35, 40 points between the two nights. But I don't know. Any other thoughts here on OKC, or should we move on to? You guys want to throw out another team name that we should dissect?
OKC is a life raft if your fantasy roster's on fire.
Mm-hmm.
There's so many, even in our super competitive league. There's so many of these kind of interesting players available right now.
Yep.
And what's up with Lou Dort? He has a concussion, I believe.
He's concussed. Yeah.
Yeah. So he's not playing tomorrow night. And it just makes me nervous, especially with some like he is a core piece of their future, correct? So I mean, just holding on to him the rest of the year, I would be nervous about him missing games.
I don't think Lou Dort is the core piece of OKC's future.
He's going to be a part of the team next year for sure, though.
Yeah, he'll be on the team.
So we'll see what happens here. But OKC's just got to mine a little bit. You got to dig a little deep with some of these guys and get familiar. But again, last call, Moses Brown. We got Dave Janis hanging out in the chat room tonight.
Hey, David.
Hola.
Who's got Moses Brown in this league?
Jesse.
Lemon pepper titties. God damn it.
He's smacking my ass right now, guys. I'm playing him this week.
Oh boy. Yeah, he's got the Moses. He's got a good team. He's got a good team.
Just in time for Easter, he snagged some Moses.
So I don't know. What's we're going on what? We're going on about 47 minutes here. We got about maybe 10 minutes left in the show. Did you guys have any topics or things you guys need to get out on the live stream tonight, or should we continue looking at some of these not so good teams?
This we could review our bracket.
The
bracket we filled out. How
yes.
bad were we?
I love that idea actually.
Let's
do a little college hoops and draft talk.
We can open it up too in the chat room if you guys got any questions. Dave, if you have any questions, let us know. Let's see.
You guys in the future though, we need to do an OKC only podcast, and we need to do a deep dive, like a 10-minute deep dive on all of these weird players on that roster.
You think we could get one of them to just hop on?
Yes, absolutely. I'm pretty sure Moses Brown would hang out with us if we asked nicely.
Oh, wow. Okay. So I found the bracket that we filled out.
Ooh, I love this.
Okay. And we got USC right, guys. We got USC in the right spot.
Ooh.
So Gonzaga, USC. This one's pretty much done. But look, we also let's see, Kansas. We got that.
Are you sure this is our bracket?
I believe so, because
I'm pretty sure I picked Iowa over.
Look how far we took Oklahoma State.
Oh yeah. Yeah, this is our bracket.
Yeah. This is our bracket. Is this really our bracket? Because it's not that bad.
No. Well, I mean, just that part.
How far did we take Georgia Tech?
We did have them taken out. Taken out. We filled that out too before we knew Moses Wright was not going to be playing in that game.
Right.
This entire thing just sucks.
I forced us to take Arkansas. I remember that, and
well done.
We got that pretty good. We did that good.
Michigan. We did pretty good for this year, to be honest.
We didn't do good like in the early rounds, but later we have some teams with legs left that could win.
Yep.
Gonzaga and Baylor are our last hopes. But Dave Janis asks us a question here: Is Jaren Jackson worth holding on?
I was looking at this last week, Dave, and I was gonna give you congratulations for holding on to this guy for so long, but I think it's time to cut him loose. Look at that update.
If
End of April. That's
Don't make
the season ends before then.
Yeah.
oh man, this was a 7th round pick too. That's what's
It's a tough pill to swallow because he's so good. But
Sorry,
look,
Dave.
he's still 52% rostered. So
Yeah,
you're in the majority thinking here of keeping him. But I think it's time to get rid of him.
and you're basically kind of throwing it like a bomb for somebody else to fall on. And I don't know, there's a lot of good players on Memphis right now. The way we've looked at Memphis quite frequently on this show, and that they have like 8-9 dudes that are fantasy relevant. So like working Jaren Jackson back into the mix, it might even that first week of games, even if you only get 1 or 2 weeks, is it really going to be what we drafted him for? I think I'm okay with letting Jaren Jackson go.
Agreed.
And then he says he held him and Derek White the entire season. Derek White though. Because Lonnie Walker's out for a little bit. And
Yeah,
Derek
Lonnie's out. Derek
White's starting to look pretty good.
Yeah, Derek's been a much better hold.
I mean, look at these minutes.
Yeah.
You know, this is the guy that can be helped with. He's only 31% owned, so if you're in a 12-man league, I think this needs to be added at this point.
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. Or there's probably a lot of 10 teams in there too that he's not owned. So
I just
go grab him.
Just want to look up the Spurs real quick because I noticed. I think it's Lonnie Walker and then somebody else was out. Oh yeah, it's Manu Ginobili. Manu Ginobili was out. Let's see. So Lonnie's probable for Wednesday's game, so he's probably not playing. But we'll see if Derek White's been playing really good. He should be able to hold on to that spot. But look, guys, you can add Manu Ginobili for the playoff run.
Wow. When is he supposed to come back, Kyle?
This is amazing, John. I gotta interrupt you here.
Please.
Uncle from California just sent me a text with a YouTube video link and says the Frozen 4. He's excited for the Mavericks here.
Who is this?
This is Melanie's uncle.
Oh, that's what's up. Let's go. Let's go Mavs, baby. I love this.
Some hype going. Let's championship this year.
You know, we're getting it in the airwaves, getting it in the interwebs, and I appreciate it, Drake. You know, this is us making up for past Maverick mistakes.
Yes. In our many mistakes.
There's way too many to count on one podcast.
So I was just gonna pull up an NBA.
It was a good time.
Has anything changed for you guys here?
Yeah, at the beginning of the season, I said Jalen Suggs was the number 1 pick, and the number 1 pick is Cade Cunningham. So, but that's been changed a long time ago. So, Mobley at 2, probably, right?
Yeah, I don't disagree with this right now.
I think I'm most fascinated with the G League boys, Jalen Green and Jonathan Kuminga here.
Kuminga is a baller, and so is Green. Green can just light up the scoreboard. Kuminga is a very good overall player who scores well. Scotty Barnes is a lot of fun, too. I really like Scotty.
I've fallen in love with Moses Moody after randomly becoming an Arkansas fan because of this. Dave, this little thing we've been doing for the Honey Badger League. I've become this weird Arkansas basketball fan. So this Moses Moody guy I've watched a lot.
Let's hear it.
He's 6'7" maybe. Is that correct? No, 6'6". That's measured without shoes, though. I've been watching him. Yeah, I've been watching him in shoes. He's 6'7" when I see him. Anyway, he's an incredible scorer. I love his length. I love just the feel he has with the basketball in his hands. He fits so. I mean, he was the best player on that team offensively, and it was a great offensive team. But he allowed the game to just come to him. He never just took over. You know, maybe in the second half when the time called for it. But he didn't just take over, dominate the ball, become that black hole offensively that a lot of like college kids can sometimes do when they're so good at scoring. I appreciate his ability to like just let the game come to him, and then when it does come to him, just put the ball in the hoop. He's a special talent. I think I have a hard time, Drake. Like you see these guys against college competition, and you're like, that guy's that dude. that Shabazz Napier syndrome is how I think of it. And the guy gets to the NBA and he's solid. He can cash some checks for a couple of years in the league, but he doesn't turn into that dude you think he's going to be. I always get a little nervous about that, but I think Moody's got a good chance to become a really, really good NBA player, like a Mikal Bridges type player, honestly, with a little more offensive punch and a little worse of a defender.
Absolutely. What do you guys I kind of feel the same way about Cade Cunningham, watching him the last few weeks. Like he didn't have to have the ball. Like nothing was forced with Oklahoma State. He was fine passing it up. He wasn't. I also thought that the college game just was too slow for him. Like the half court is not his, not where he's going to succeed. But when he gets to the NBA, he's going to run like crazy. So I felt the same way with Moody. I think Moody's going to be a very good NBA player.
What do you guys know about Keon Johnson? He's probably the only guy that I don't know about, I guess the top 10 or so.
I didn't watch much of
Tennessee
this year, so I can't really comment on him. I'll have to do some research on these guys.
I watched a little bit of SEC tournament, and I watched a little bit of Tennessee, probably Tennessee and
Alabama.
I think were the two teams I saw the most. Alabama won that thing, but I just saw these other teams more just because when I was watching. Keon Johnson he's I don't know, man. He's hard to describe. There's probably a lot of games this year where you watched the game and you were like, he is not the best player on Tennessee, but I bet he's got. Look at all those NAs. There's no comparisons, Kyle. We can't. We don't know. We don't even know how to rank this guy. Even the internet can't figure it out. Nobody understands.
One guy I want to look at.
I think he's fun.
Is Brandon Boston Jr. He underperformed like crazy this year, but was the top, one of the top recruits.
From Kentucky?
From Kentucky. Yeah, BJ Boston. So Brandon Johnson. Yeah. He's going to be the guy. He's going to be the Cole Anthony or one of those guys that's going to fall in the draft, and people are going to be like, oh, crap, we missed up. Because he's meant for the NBA. He's going to score like crazy.
Kevin Martin, let's go. And they're mocking him to the Bucks.
6'7".
The Bucks need a 6'7" Kevin Martin. He's
a very good player. It didn't work. It didn't work at Kentucky. He was shooting very poorly. He didn't play all that well. He didn't even get to start. And he was coming in at like top 3 recruit, top 5 guarantee. So he's one of those guys that didn't have a great college year. He's going to fall. Like Jaden McDaniels, very talented player, and then comes out, finds a role, and starts, getting buckets.
So he's definitely a name to keep an eye on here.
I just talked that much about a 27th pick in the draft. But
no, I'm so glad you brought it up, my friend, because I love that he's getting mocked to the Bucks. That's just like such a beautiful thing. I mean, there's how many examples have there been in the past 10 years of Kentucky players who really underperformed, or even in bench roles
Shea Alexander,
at Kentucky, Devin Booker, and it's just and then they come into the league and just blow the league up.
Yeah, because they're talented. There's a stopgap at Kentucky. There's a lot of talent there.
Yeah, it's hard to break through. I'm excited for that guy. That if he falls in the draft, I bet if he falls to 20 or beyond, whoever gets that guy is getting an absolute gem, I bet.
Yeah.
Do you know anything about Isaiah Jackson here, freshman from Kentucky?
I don't know as much about him.
And they got another freshman.
Greg Brown down there is also disrespectful because he's talented and he's a great defensive player and was working on developing an offensive game, but
and big men take the most time too, so I like the savvy call there.
Mm-hmm.
I love the second round so much. Can we just give a nice little gentle scroll so I can read some names and see if there's anyone worth chatting
Luka
about?
Garza, are we gonna see it pop up, or is he just destined for Europe?
I think he's coming.
He should be.
We still got 15 names.
Isaiah Todd.
Ooh, Kofi Cockburn. That's a fun one.
No Garza.
Aaron Henry is kind of fun.
He was a senior, right?
Yeah. I think he's
McClung.
I think he's
Mac
viewed as
McClung.
too slow for the NBA game.
Mac McClung was their DiVincenzo, essentially, their guy they would just like have at the end of games taking the final shot if it got down to it, and a little offensive punch. I think he came off the bench for them, but he was I like McClung. I said I watched a lot of SEC tournament. I saw some Texas Tech too. Yeah, he was fun.
If John Lure can make a couple contracts, I would think.
I mean, Garza, the player of the year.
Yeah, I would think he can make a couple contracts.
I cannot believe. Is he in the first round? Did we just scroll past him?
No.
Can you do it? I can't believe he's not on here.
There's some Garza disrespect.
Yeah, in actuality, he has to get drafted. He's absolutely an NBA player.
They got Suggs number 2 here.
I could see it.
There's a lot of centers going that I would not take over Garza, so I don't know.
There's Greg Brown right here at 16.
Yeah, I think that's probably more. Yeah, there's Boston. So these guys are a little more on track with what I was thinking.
Oh, I like Chris Duarte. Nothing. I think there was only a 1-rounder, so interesting. But I don't know. We're going on about an hour here. Do you guys have anything to add for final thoughts here? I did have the schedule, week-to-week schedule. I did notice that Detroit plays 5 games next week. So if you want to go check out Hamidou Diallo, I would go recommend checking that out. 5 games next week. And then the way I filtered this too is that if there's a 5, it's just kind of greener than the other ones. So
don't be afraid to check out other Detroit players too. Ride the wave.
Detroit basketball.
But I don't know. Any other final thoughts for tonight's show before we wrap up, guys?
Russell Westbrook is almost as good as Drake while injured with plantar fasciitis at the sport of basketball. Almost.
Close.
Almost.
It's a close second.
We're going to have to mint some moments in the Dells.
Yes, we are going to have some top shot moments.
A lot of first mints.
A lot of blown layups. A lot of missed shots. There's going to be some very courageous shooters.
There's going to be like a nasty Jake Phillips block on my brother.
It's gonna be dirty. I'm planning at one point of just straight taking the ball out of Jake Phillips's hands when he's down there trying to just do some post move on me.
I'm not sure I've ever heard of Jake Phillips before. Are you referring to a man I know as Hank?
Hank? Oh yes. Sorry. Jake is actually the name he uses as a 41-year-old
on TikTok in Green Bay, Wisconsin. But Hank,
Hank is his actual name.
I think we scared him into accepting Hank as his future. He's seen what the Jacob Phillips future is. He might permanently embrace.
He'll have some post moves for us. We'll all have some fun. It's gonna be ugly.
Call your own fouls. That's what it's gonna be.
I don't think we should call any fouls.
Then you're asking for blood. You're asking for blood. But I don't know, John. Any final thoughts? We're excited. I mean, we still got a month away, so we got.
We need some power rankings. I think we should do that on the show. We should do some 2 versus 2 power rankings for our Dells tournament.
We'll get the
last week before our Dells trip.
We should fill out a Dells bracket.
A Dells bracket.
Oh my gosh.
How are we do? We're doing a round robin tournament, right? We
right.
Every team maybe.
So it's very clear that John needs to be there as an alternate. And
the wheels are in motion. The wheels are in motion. I think I'll have 100% confirmation for you guys at the end of next week. I was hoping to get it done by the end of this week, but
you're a top 3 player, John. You send that text.
I don't know, man. I don't know. I played hoop on Saturday, and some of the people I was playing with, like they wanted me to be captain because they said I was the best. I was one of the 2 best people there, and I proceeded to make 0 shots, and I took lots of shots every game for like 3 straight games.
Well,
So
you had the confidence.
I'm a rusty little boy right now.
When was the last time you shot hoops, Kyle?
A week ago, I went home to Green Bay. Was shooting hoops on the driveway, so I'm getting the
He's
driveway.
getting loose. He's getting loose.
Kyle looks like he recently stretched. Kyle shot in baskets
sure.
within the past 2 months. I'm worried about Kyle Bauer.
Kyle's in the top 3 for sure.
Kyle is working on his own plantar fasciitis right now. Advantage, this is craziness.
If it's windy outside, that's when I'm outside shooting hoops. You gotta get in the elements. If it's raining, that's when you go outside. And then also too, I got that hoop at the office.
Okay, he's working nerve in it.
So he's shooting hoops in the rain
and at the office. He's just constantly shooting hoops.
Is he doing anything else but playing basketball right now?
No, he's just frozen though in time. Is he frozen on your screen?
Always frozen. He's a great point. I love it though. Who is your partner for the game, Drake?
Jesse.
Nice.
Yeah.
Very nice. Who's Kyle's?
He's got his brother, Bubba. You are you're gonna be on. There's a team that
Blake and I, if I'm able to make it, Blake has already claimed me.
Okay, so then Blake would drop Jake, which would be hilarious for you.
Blake texted me. I didn't know I was doing something like that, but he texted me.
You're a hot commodity, man. If you've played any basketball in the last 5 years, you're above most of us.
Dude, I'm so bad, Drake. I played so poorly on Saturday. I almost retired. I almost retired after the game. I was so close. I was very pissy.
First game.
It was the first time I played in a while. The first game, not my first game in 2021 though. So
I'm looking to get some shots up here soon. I'm gonna go to a park or something. And
I turned 29 and all my basketball skill exited my body, and I don't know why. Because I'm not really much different than when I was 28. when I was hooping on people, I was hitting fadeaways. People were calling me Jokic.
Hey, it'll come back. It's been a process. It'll come back. Should we just leave the studio? We're already an hour here talking about.
I don't know. I don't know what Kyle wants us to do. This is the extra credit for all of our true fans. Let's.
True homie.
Kyle's back.
He's back, but he's still frozen.
But he's back.
Yeah,
and it's better to see his face. It's always better when he closes for us.
Can you hear?
There he goes.
All right. So I hope I don't know. Did I miss anything? I just had to reset the router.
Just close it off.
All right.
Kill it.
Thank you guys for hanging out, listening to us talk about nothing at the end of the show. We appreciate you guys. Don't forget to like the video, subscribe to the YouTube channel. We'll see you guys next Tuesday night. Have a good one. Peace.